Good evening and welcome to A Rude Awakening, episode 11. Those of you that are looking for special signs, 11 is a special number, denotes ascension. So tonight's a special program about ascension. Or I could just be talking utter shit. So I find myself reluctantly doing this. And I get to a point where I really just want to go quiet and just engage back into the world and pour myself back into this world compassionately and contribute to whatever's right in front of me. And I think I'm done. I think it's now time to be quiet. Why does anyone want to listen to me anymore? I'm saying the same thing over and over again. You know, I've done the entire Course in Miracles from beginning to end, every single lesson, workbook for, work manual for teachers, workbook for students, even the clarification of terms. I've done the whole thing. It's on YouTube. What else is there to say? Um, there's a almost permanent, perpetual state of being while I appear to be doing. I want for nothing. I'm not chasing anything. There are no real goals. I go about my business. Ideas pop up. I execute. What else is there? I live a fairly peaceful life. And the challenges aren't challenges for very long. What is there to do? You know? Um, and I just really want to abide in silence and be at peace with this newfound state of being or re-remembered state of being, because it's not new. It's always been here. It's just now all pervading, all present, no matter where I am or whatever I seem to be doing. But okay. So I honestly thought this is it. I'm done. And our dear friend Mickey sends me her YouTube channel last week. And I'm watching this channel and it just hits home that there's a correction to be made. And and obviously the adjustment correction is within our very self, my own self-awareness. So thanks to that, and that's what brings this about. This all of a sudden the inner dialogue starts and it wants to be shared. Now, if I was trying to be someone special, I would say I was hearing the voice for Jesus or Buddha or Krishna or Ramana Maharishi's voice telling me to say so and so, or the Holy Spirit said. And that would just be utter bullshit. Seeking attention, wanting to be special. Look at me, God talks to me. I heard God's voice. The minute someone tells you they heard God's voice or Jesus's voice, they are delusional. Delusional. And I am loose. I have no D. I'm aware itself. It is our shared self communicating in what appears to be words or a voice in our own awareness. The minute I think someone is talking to me or channeling through me, I've gone straight back into duality. I've gone straight back into specialness. And it's really just attention seeking or validation seeking. This is an inner dialogue. I, myself, and Eileen. Who's Eileen? The name of my Land Rover, where I have most of my conversations. Why do I name my Land Rover Eileen? Because I got to sing to her. Come on, Eileen, to get her to go, because Land Rovers are so fucking slow. And two, because every time you go around a corner, it leans. So it's come on, Eileen. And that's when I converse. I'm in the car, I'm in the Land Rover, I'm speaking to self. Self with self, only self. Right now, I appear to be talking to a screen. I appear to be talking to you, It's only our true self conversing with itself, appearing as 8 billion fractured thoughts in form in its own dream. One such character 2,000 years ago, named Yeshua ben Joseph, awoke to self and realized itself, I, and my source, Father, are one. Buddha did that. Krishna did that thousands of years before Jesus. And the Advaita texts, thousands of years before the Bible, same teachings by many so-called awakened masters. There's no such thing as awakened master. No one, no individual awakens. The mind is awakening. The characters, the dream characters, the thoughts and form, self-realize. In other words, recognize their true essential nature. That's it. Nothing special. The reason we individuals do not fully awaken to self is two reasons. One, the reason we don't self-realize is because we're not only afraid of death, far worse than our fear of death is the recognition that we never have existed as individual characters at all. That's our greatest fear, is awakening to self and realizing just pure essence energy, ever extending. And I've never been me, and there's no me and my dog and my family and my mother and my father and my kids and my husband and my wife and my might. There's no my. There's just pure awareness. That's the primary reason. We say we love God and we want the love of God and but we don't want to give up our individuality. Individual duality. And second of all, is we haven't got a cooking clue what it means. And since we're imagining dreaming, if we cannot imagine awakening, it's not accessible to us. And since awakening is not of our own imagination, it's our natural state of being. It means surrender to what's natural. And we're too afraid to surrender to what is because we struggle with, here it is, spiritual term, the fucking authority problem. Surrender to the human monkey means giving up. And we're afraid of giving up, even though we've given up. Most spiritual people have given up life. And so because they haven't been successful at illusion, they become spiritual as an excuse. It's the reason why we make up all sorts of spiritual stories when we tell ourselves we're empaths. No one understands us, and we feel the suffering of others. I've always said I've only got two emotions. I'm either horny or angry. And when I awoke to self, the horny went, and I'm either hungry or angry. They're jokes. That's just a fucking joke. So we make up these stories, and we love the stories of spirit world, especially if there's layers. And we love the idea that we're a fallen angel or an angel in training, an ascended master, which really means an ascended disaster, a descended disaster in making. We have this purpose. We're yet to heal others, fix the world, awaken the world, be the light of the world. You can't be the light of the world because if you are light, there is no world. The world's a shadow. The whole universe is a shadow, an imagined shadow in our dreaming mind. But we love these stories because I'm in the 7th level and I'm ascending to the 12th dimension. We love that bullshit because it gives us a special purpose, a special mission, a special identity. We're here as super spiritual channelers, and we are so special that Jesus talks to us. What a load of absolute bullshit. Jesus died 2,000 years ago and no longer exists, in actual fact, never existed. But the character projection of ourself, the idea of ourself projected as a body-mind identity known as Yeshua ben Joseph, who, according to narrative traditions, no evidence, awoke to self. If he did indeed awake to self, ascend in awareness, then does not exist as an individual character anywhere in the mind anymore. As he ascended to that which is our true self, essential nature, Christ-mindedness, right-mindedness, pure, undifferentiated, primordial awareness, then that which was Jesus no longer has the name, but is pure awareness, and is part of that which we call our right-mindedness, our awake self. Any other argument is bullshit and straight back into duality. And you can talk until the cows come home and do a doctorate on the Bible and what Jesus said and what Helen Schuchman said and who she heard. You're wrong. And do I need to be right? No. I'm not trying to make you wrong and I'm right. Just logic. Just pure logic. Pure awareness. I think once you've had a holy instant, just one, that's it. If I was to ask you, and I said this last week, are you aware? The answer is simply, I am. What are you aware of? Your hand, the body, the room, my voice, the screen, your experience. You're aware. And the fact that you're aware, because at the beginning part of our dreaming mind, we weren't aware. We were in total darkness. When we called for help, Holy Spirit, the light, the memory of self and God as one indivisible self came into our dream, and we started to become aware of self, self-aware. And so if you're aware, you're either awakening or you're fully awake. And no, none of you listening to this video are awake, fully awake. Because if you were, you wouldn't be listening to me. You'd be out there serving. So no matter how advanced you think you are, the fact that you're still listening to this motherfucker means you're not fully aware. You're still searching. Accept that. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge me. It's okay. It's all of it's okay. It's scripted. We love that idea of ascended masters. We're an ascended masters. We're awake to self. We're enlightened. No one is enlightened. Enlightening simply means putting light on an illusion, dissolving the erroneous, misperceived lies, thoughts. And we're awakening to our absolute essential nature, our absolute reality. We, the dream, one singular dreaming mind, no character. And each character contributes to the collective awakening. So as I said, once you've had that holy instant, you want to share that blissful lightness of being with everyone. It doesn't last, but you want to share it. And you're meant to share it. The problem is, how do you share it? Words are but symbols twice removed. Poor, at best, poor concessions for ultimate reality. But we try, we have to. Because if you say nothing, you remain a coward. And if you try, well, at best concessions, and not everybody will understand you. And of course, if you try and make money out of it, then you're a charlatan, and that's okay. Not judging it anymore. Thanks, Mickey. I'm not judging it anymore. My brothers want to deceive others, let them. I'm not going to be calling them out anymore. I'm done with, I no longer want to carry that within myself. Thanks, Mickey. I'm letting it go. And those that want to be deceived by the charlatans, let them be. I'm just letting it go. I'm just resting in peace now. I have no more need to call out the charlatans. I'm no longer paying attention. I'm just going to do what I do, share myself lovingly, compassionately, and kind. Let the rest might carry on. Ultimately, trying to explain self-realization, self-awareness, awakened awareness is impossible. The closest I'll get is to just go silent and put a smile on my face. To describe awakened awareness is trying to explain to someone who's never seen or tasted ice cream what ice cream tastes like. Would you ever crave for something if you've never even knew it existed? No. So now you're trying to explain to someone who's never experienced ice cream what something cold and sugary that melts in your mouth tastes like. They have no cooking clue. And so you can't. How are you going to want someone to want to desire that delicious taste of vanilla ice cream with a flake in the middle? If they've ever had one, forget it. You can't. Wasting your time. But you want to anyway. So do it until you realize you're not really heading home. But you're not doing it for them because there's no them. You're doing it because the more you share your understanding, the more your understanding transcends into knowing, and that's why you need to do it. You need to do it for yourself. You must do it, and eventually you won't need to do it at all. It'll just, the quietness will come. And it's a refining process. But know this, if you're aware, you're awakening. And eventually you're fully awake to self, our shared, indivisible, unified, Christ-minded, awake, extension of God. So that's it, God energy. It's an awareness of our indivisibility, the spaciousness of being, the lightness of being, the spaciousness and lightness of being. Concessions at best. It means absolutely nothing. Sounds wonderful. Put it on a postcard. But unless you've had the direct experience thereof, it either sounds wonderful or inspires you in spirit to will thy will be done. But ultimately, the purpose of tonight, A Rude Awakening, episode 11, is to make a very specific point. None of us are special, and none of us have a purpose. We assign ourselves purpose because we like the story of having a purpose. I'm here as a special seventh dimension, whatever, to fix and heal and blah. No, you're not. None of us, not a single thought in form, human body, mind, monkey being, has a purpose at all. Jesus didn't have a purpose. You don't have a purpose. But each and every single one of us has a function. And although the function plays out in 8 billion different ways on this little blue planet Earth, the function is identical in every single one of us. And no matter how you play, it plays out like this. Be kind. If you can't be kind, be quiet. If you didn't understand that, in South African English, it means shut the fuck up. Simple. Don't spew forth non-duality to people who've never even heard the term non-duality. Ooh, there's no universe, there's no you, there's no me. Don't confuse solipsism with non-duality. It's not just you and everybody else is a character in your dreaming mind. You're a character in our collective dreaming mind. We're all characters. If you can't be kind, be quiet. Whenever you do something, do it with passion, compassion. Be compassionate. Don't get empathetic. Don't use empathy. Empathy is pure ego. So you tell your story and get other people to cry. Other people tell their stories and you cry. Now you've bought into their story. Their illusionary story, and you've bought in the story. Now you're both crying. You think you're special because you feel their suffering, or you feel the suffering of the world. You don't feel fuck all. Your ego's feeling. You feel nothing. You are pure awareness, and awareness doesn't feel. For feelings to exist, you need to go from awareness into perception. Perception becomes thought. Thought becomes sensation. Sensation becomes emotions and feelings. What has feelings? Subjective, lost in translation, thought in form. If you have empathy, you're trapped in your ego. The empath who says thinking is bad, but feeling is good. No such thing. The scientists will say thinking is good and feelings are bad. Thinking and feeling is all illusionary. Constructs of perception, constructs of consciousness, a dreaming mind. Pure awareness is no feeling. Yet when love flows through you, there's a sensation very close to feeling, but you'll know that it's not contained in your body and it's overwhelming. It just wants to be shared. Don't take my word for it. Be kind, be compassionate, and be loving. And if you cannot be those three, be quiet. Why do you need a comment? Note to self. No more commenting on the charlatans. I'm letting it go. Those that want to play, play, and everything is scripted, so I am no longer judging whether they make up stories of imagining whoever apparitions and they spoke to whoever in Jesus' channel. I'm letting it go. I'm dropping it. I'm no longer answering questions about it. No longer interested. I've let go. That's it. If you are kind and compassionate and loving, and you abide in awareness, you rest in awareness. Remember, rest as in awareness or as awareness is the same as saying rest in peace. And what is that peace? It's in the silent stillness. It's the awareness. It's the present moment presence of the all-pervading essence energy we abide in. And that essence energy, God, love. And if you abide in that with no judgment, and of course, you're not going to stop judging instantly, but you're going to work at it. And no judgment. And if there is a judgment, you forgive yourself and you forgive the judgment. And therefore, you have to remain vigilant, thought, and whatever appears outside you. But if you can be kind, be compassionate, be loving, and you abide with zero judgment, you realize you'll become inspired and an enthusiasm will rise, a sharing of your passionate nature. You'll be enthusiastically inspired by a very dynamic energy, dynamic awareness, which is love of God. Dynamic awareness, inspired dynamic awareness, which is what you are. It's not you becoming. It flows through you because it is the real you. It flows through the perception of a body mind because the essence of it is what it is. You abide in it. You are pure awareness. You don't become aware. You are this enthusiastic, inspired, dynamic essence energy, love, unconditional, flowing through you. And as it flows through you, the only experience you can have is pure gratitude. And gratitude begets gratitude. And the more you rest as awareness, the more this flows through you and wants to share and wants to pour compassionately into your field of dreams, your creations, because you made it in vengeance, but now you're going to transform it, transcend it in love. And this is because you've chosen, I will to will, thy will be done. No longer my dreams, my ambitions, my fantasies of specialness and a fantasy paradigm. Show me another way. And when you're truly willing to let thy will be done in the recognition that I and my Father are one, and everything I seem to see, experience, feel, sense, All of it is me. Expressions of my fallen asleep, vengeful, fearful self that made manifest thoughts in form in order to usurp the power of my union. Now that I've offered it to the memory of self and source, becomes a reflection of the divine play of light, the divine extension of the joyous and infinite lightness of being, wanting to be poured, wanting to be shared, wanting to be known as itself, as its extension, as its absolute reality, as that which is. And now, as it shares that, unencumbered, unfiltered, the judgmental fears, thoughts go, gone. In the face of Christ, the knowing of ourself, of our one indivisible, shared, eternal extension of God, self, is all there is. And in that knowing, you sit back and rest in peace, rest in the life force, the life flow of the very essence which we now know is source energy, God. And you rest, and then it inspires you, and then you act, and then you rest. Ebbs and flows, ebbs and tide. Nothing more to do, nothing more to conquer, nothing more to achieve, but what's right in front of you. And some of it calls for charity, and some calls for service, but there's no more ambition. There's nothing to fix, there's nothing to correct, there's nothing to teach, there's no one to heal, there's nothing, there's be that knowingly. And in your abidance, in your resting in peace, in your resting in your present moment awareness, your shared presence with the presence which is source, God, you do more for our collective healing than anything else you can do. Don't take my word for it, try it. Be that knowingly. Blessings.